a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Well, with a name like Nancy Guitar, don't I have to interview musicians? No, I'm just kidding about the have to. It's always a pleasure. My guest today is a musician, a singer, a songwriter, and he started his career at a really early age. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Kidwell. Welcome to the show, Steve.
How y'all doing? I'm glad to be here with you today, Nancy.
Yeah, that's really nice. So I just want to tell the audience you're in Texas, correct?
Well, I am. I'm in Kerrville, Texas. So we're actually staying in Bandera because I'm doing shows all over Texas right now. And Bandera is centralized between Houston, San Antonio, Corpus Christi, all of the big major areas.
That's a good location. Sounds like a good spot to be. So I was reading
Oh,
on
it is.
yeah. I was reading on your website that you actually started performing professionally at the age of 8.
That is true.
So
My very first time on stage was with Charlie Daniels at 8 years old.
okay,
So I broke into the music industry really early.
but how did it come about at that age to be performing?
Well, I had a wonderful music teacher. I've been involved in music since I was about 5 years old. And when I was in grade school, I had a wonderful music teacher. Her name was Miss Terry. And her family was really good friends with Charlie Daniels and his family. Well, Charlie was coming through and playing our county fair that year. And Miss Terry got a hold of the Daniels family and asked Charlie if he would mind if she called me an exceptional music student on stage with him, and he agreed. And so I got to perform with Charlie Daniels in 1979 to a sold out max capacity crowd at our county fair.
Wow.
So it was really amazing.
Yeah.
So Charlie was a good friend and a great mentor to me. So I've modeled a lot of my musical styles and everything over the years after what he did. So, and he sure missed. I'll tell you, when he passed, it was a huge hit to the music community.
Yeah, for sure, right? Now he gave you a good piece of professional advice, correct?
He did. I'd love to share it with you.
Yes, please.
So before the concert started, I was standing on stage behind. At that time, they had these big green velvet curtains that covered the stage, and they'd have to open those so everybody could see the performance. So I was standing there with my back turned to Charlie and the band, and I was peeking out from behind the curtains, and I couldn't believe the amount of people that were out there staring at the curtain waiting to go. And all of a sudden I felt this hand on my shoulder. And if anybody's seen Charlie, they know he's got hands the size of dinner plates. And he put his hand on my shoulder and he asked me, he says, "Are you scared, boy?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I am." He said, "Good." He said, "If you ever step on a stage in your life and you're not nervous," he said, "then you're doing it wrong and you shouldn't be playing music." He told me to that day, he gets nervous every time he gets ready to go on stage. So that was my first piece of professional advice from Charlie Daniels. And it was amazing. And I can tell you, it doesn't matter where I'm at or how many people I'm playing to. I still get nervous when I step on a stage.
Yeah, I understand because I did like stand-up comedy and improv and all those things, so yeah. As much as you love it, it's still nervous to begin, right?
Absolutely. It's music is my entire life. It's what I do for a living.
Right.
So I'm a professional touring musician. So I've got the tour bus, the whole 9 yards, and I've been on the road straight for the last 2.5, almost 3 years.
Oh my goodness.
So it's an experience, and I'm getting ready to I'm getting ready to in July kick off an 84 city tour.
Wow.
And it's a 4 month tour. We're doing 84 cities in 4 months. So it's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Great. That's good. Yeah. Now let's talk about, like, you've written, composed, and recorded 3 albums, right?
That is true.
So
Recorded 3 albums so far.
and I believe you're currently working on a 4th.
That is absolutely true. When I step inside the car here, there's a little air conditioning. So I am currently working on a 4th. I just came off of my new single that was endorsed by Bob Seger, Turn the Page. And I was just asked if I would do the Keith Whitley 3434 Legacy album. So everybody that knows country music knows how loved and special Keith Whitley was. So, and he was one of my favorite artists I've listened to for many, many years. So to have the chance to do the Legacy album for the Whitley Foundation and the Keith Whitley family is absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
So yeah, that album is being ready. It's getting ready right now to be recorded in Nashville. So I'll be down in Nashville on the 12th of July to start recording that album. So we're going to do it in 2 sections. So we're going to make it 2 small albums that will be that'll be available in a 2-disc set.
Okay.
So the first part of the album we'll record first and release that, and then we'll get the studio again and do the other half of the album for the 2-piece set.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah. Now, your music, it says a combination of like true country, Southern rock, and blues.
That is true, and I've worked a lot of years to kind of put that style together, and it works really good for me. My fans love it, and it gives me a chance to every once in a while cross the musical genres.
Okay.
To be able to appeal to a different group of musical lovers, and not just in country, but I can cross into the outlaw country, the Southern rock, and the blues, and catch the attention of a whole lot of different listeners with the music.
Yeah, very good. That makes sense. Sorry, it makes sense. So now, are you a solo performer or in a band, or you do both?
I do both. I'm a solo performer at times, and then I've got 3 different bands. I've got one here in Texas, I've got a band in Arizona, and I've got a band in Tennessee. So I've got access to my guys and my musicians pretty much anywhere I go.
Right. It seems
But I do love doing my solo shows as well.
okay. You know, it's interesting because I've interviewed a lot of musicians and band members, and it's often that they with more than one band, right?
Yeah.
So
I've been very, very blessed to meet a lot of different performers and different band members that I work really well with, and our styles match. So I'm able to utilize that wherever I'm at in the U.S. at the time.
right, yeah. What are the names of those bands?
We just fall under Stephen K.
Oh,
So they're hired to work. They're hired to work for me.
right.
So, but they're not just band members. They over the years and over time they become friends and family both.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So it's but when they work for me, they're paying for me to work under my name of Stephen K. when I'm on stage and on the road.
Okay, got that. Now there's something to do. I was reading through your profile on your website, and it said something about Reba McEntire. What was that reference to?
Now, my last album, Memories and Milestones, which was my last album and my last tour that I just finished up for over the winter and going into the spring and summer. So we just finished up the Memories and Milestones tour. The album was recorded in Nashville. with my producers, and we actually used Reba McEntire's band on my album. So
Oh,
I had wonderful, wonderful musicians working with me in the studio. And that's another blessing that I've had. I get to work in the best studios in the industry, from Sony to Omni Soundstage to Hilltop Recording Studio to the world famous Family Room,
right.
where Elvis, the Beatles, George Jones, all of them recorded.
That's pretty
So
cool.
I'm at a point in my career now where I can walk into those studios and I'm welcomed like family.
Yeah.
And I get to work with that caliber musician on my songs.
One of the things that for a lot of people, things changed during COVID, and they had trouble like slowly coming back as the world started to, things started to open up. Did you have those same issues during COVID?
I did. That is why we decided to pack everything up and head for the South to tour during COVID.
Okay.
Because over on the West Coast, where we're from, out of Pendleton, Oregon, when COVID hit, I lost 128 shows overnight,
Oh my goodness.
and there was no music to be played. Oh yeah, there was no music to be played anywhere. Everything shut down,
Right, right.
and it seemed like the world had come to an end. So my wife and my best friend Carolyn and I, we decided that, you know what, we're going to go and find the music. So we packed up everything, got the gear set up, and we hit the road. And we found out that the world hadn't come to an end.
Yeah.
When we rolled into Arizona the first time, there wasn't a mask in sight. People were still playing music. The clubs were open. Everybody was having a good time. So we played a lot of music there in Arizona, and then we rode into Texas. And the same thing. They were still giving flu shots. It was like COVID had never happened. And this was in the midst of the COVID epidemic.
Right, right.
And so music, clubs, everything. And then what really amazed us is when we rolled into Tennessee. I went there to do some recording with my producers, and we rolled into Nashville, Tennessee, and there were 150,000 people in downtown Nashville. All the clubs were open, all the doors were open, music was playing. You had everything from jazz to blues to country to rock,
Wow.
playing 24/7 on the strip in Nashville, Tennessee. So the choice that we made to go ahead and hit the road at that time was a wonderful and beautiful and eye-opening choice.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, everybody was being told that everything was dead and closed down, and nobody was performing or doing anything like that. But the world was still alive, and music was still flourishing in the South. And so I've stayed down here on tour ever since. So we do everywhere from Montana all the way down the coast to Florida, and it's been crazy, and it's been a lot of fun. So I've actually got 3 different tours coming up.
Right.
So in July we kick off the Outlaws and Angels tour, and that's going to be 84 cities. And then in November, when we roll back into Nashville and that one starts, we kick off the Carolina tour. And then right after that, February, we'll have a little tiny bit of a break. And then in February of 2024, I kick off my Everything Texas tour.
Yep.
So we're gonna have a busy rest of this year and starting into next year.
I was just going to say you're a very busy guy. But obviously in your situation, you need a touring bus, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we started out very, very small. We had a pickup with a travel trailer attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when we left during COVID. And then we upgraded a little bit the following year,
Right.
and got a larger pull behind travel trailer. And then that got a little too small for us. So now we've graduated graduated to the tour bus, which is just absolutely wonderful. And it keeps us comfortable and keeps us dry and warm. And the fact that it's really pretty is a perk too. So
Now let's get into you, because I know I don't know how much time we have left, but let's get into your awards, okay? So you've won a number of awards.
perfect.
Yeah. So you won in 2018 the red
I
carpet.
won a lot of awards.
All right. Well, let's talk about the one in that 2018. What is it? Country Male Vocalist of the Year, correct?
Yeah.
And 29. I'm just reading off.
And we have the Joe. Perfect.
Yeah. 2019. What's JMA? What does that stand for?
That's the Josie Music Awards.
Okay.
And wonderful, wonderful people. And I was blessed to win the Song of the Year that year.
Yeah.
Which
nice.
was absolutely, it was a wonderful thing.
All right.
And I've won. Oops, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say, then you won the same again in 2020, right?
Yeah.
And 2021. Whoa, well, wait a minute here. 2022 Global Music Award winner. Whoa, that is so nice.
Yeah, that's a big one right there.
That's so nice.
So yeah, that is a music industry recognized award. So I won a Global Music Award, and then ended up winning 2 more of those just recently.
That is so awesome. No, sorry, yeah. I know you got a nomination for the Grammy Independent Ballot.
On the Independent Grammy ballots, I was really blessed and excited that my music was recognized for that. I didn't win anything, but getting the nomination was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I would imagine, right? Oh my gosh. So now what's that? I'm just looking again. I'm sorry, people. I'm just reading off of his website, which I will include so people can go on it and find everything they need to know about you. So let's see, around the world, his tours up. You've taken them all over the nation, obviously, but from just some of the things you've talked about today, it sounds like it, right?
Yeah.
And you've written, you hold on now. Your next project after the tour, whichever tour that is, you'll back in Nashville to record more songs and a duet written by you and will be formed by you. And who's Kayla Parton?
Kayla Parton, that's Dolly Parton's niece.
Oh, it is, eh? Okay. All right. So that's pretty cool.
So on my last album, Memories and Milestones, we'll back up just a little bit.
Yeah.
And so Kayla Parton wrote one of the songs on my Memories and Milestones album.
Okay.
So she wrote Messing with the Bull. And her husband, Zach, he wrote Country Ain't Country No More. So I've got, I was blessed that they pitched those 2 songs to me, and I was able to record that in the studio. What a wonderful family, the whole Parton family, they're wonderful people.
That's nice.
So, and Kayla and Zach they're both just absolutely beautiful, not only people, but musicians as well.
Right.
So I was very, very blessed and very lucky to be able to do that in the studio with them.
Well, thanks for sharing that part. You know, I'm one of these people that when I hear of somebody who's very famous for whatever reason, I love hearing when people say they're good people. I just love that. Anyway, so I think we've covered everything, right?
Absolutely. One thing I'd love to share with everybody is we're just getting the news out now, and you've probably seen it on social media. This next tour that we're kicking off in July, the Outlaws and Angels Tour 2023, will be featuring not only myself, but it'll be featuring the Southern Outlaws band as well.
Okay, great.
They are absolutely fantastic. So get on and check out the Southern Outlaws.
Yeah,
They are absolutely amazing people.
that's awesome.
So we're going to be splitting the bill on this one. So it's going to be featuring both of us on this tour. 84 cities in 4 months. And it's going to be just crazy.
Well,
So be on the lookout for those dates. They'll get posted real soon.
okay,
But
great.
yeah, the Southern Outlaws, they've earned and deserve a huge mention on this. And I'm pleased to be able to share the stage with them.
Awesome. That's wonderful. So, to the audience, like you've been listening to Steve Kidwell, I'm going to share his website so you can check him out and find out where his tours are. And if you want to get out there and hear some really good music, I say, like, go for it. It's going to be hitting a lot of places, hopefully in your area. Thank you, everybody, for watching the show. I appreciate it. And I hope you keep watching. Take care, everybody, and peace out.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.